Okay, so I am painting. Uh, well, eventually I'd like to paint my entire backhoe, but for now I'm just going to do the buckets and do one thing at a time. And maybe in 5 years I'll have the whole thing painted or whatever. So I went down to the John Deere dealership and got a can of old construction yellow. I guess the cutoff on this was machines that were built before, or the old construction yellow was before 1992, and the new construction yellow was after 1992. This machine was sold December of 91, so it's the old construction yellow. And if you look at the color on the sticker here, you can imagine that, if this wasn't nearly 30 years of sun fade, that it probably would have looked like that. And the cap is pretty similar. So I bought this and tried it out and realized that this paint is total fucking garbage. I'll show you here in a second. I had borrowed a customer's case skid steer last summer or whatever it was, and just as like a thank you gesture, essentially for him letting me borrow it, I decided to go around and touch up, paint some stuff on that, because he had like welded some shit to it and everything, grab hooks and all that kind of shit. And I called the case dealership and got their paint for that individual machine. Anyways, there's the part number on the bottom by my thumb there, and it's more of this like orange, I don't know, pumpkin color, if you will. And so I got the backhoe bucket all cleaned up, and I wanted to show you the difference between these two paints, because it's really kind of ridiculous. So like I said, I had the John Deere dealer look up the serial number just to make sure, and this is what's supposed to go to this machine. And I got this from the John Deere dealer. It's not like I bought it online and it's, some knockoff paint from China. I mean, fuck, I don't know. Maybe it is made in China. No, it says made in US. But relatively cool today and humid. But, of course, it's equipment paint. It's not for painting a hot rod or something like that. Like, you would hope that when they design the mixture for the paint or whatever, that not that they're going to be miracle workers or whatever, that you can paint underwater or some shit, but you would hope that they would take into account that you're not always going to be in a fucking, climate controlled paint booth, and sometimes it's going to be a dude out in a fucking ditch somewhere spray painting his machine. But they have been sitting in front of my wood, both the cans have been sitting in front of my wood stove for the past 3 hours or something, so they're, I don't know, 65, 70 degrees, something like that. So, John Deere paint. And to me, that looks like fucking Big Bird yellow. Or like fucking some, like, I don't know, school bus yellow or some shit like that, whatever. And so if you look at what's on the machine, it is not that. And it does not cover very well at all either, which is annoying. And both of these paints are right about the same cost. They're like roughly $14 a can. Excuse me while I jerk off the can here for a second. So, case. Oop. There we go. And so obviously the yellow is still showing through a little bit, but you know, that covers a whole shitload better than the John Deere paint does. And man, the camera is showing that yellow through way the hell more, and actually just kind of like the bare steel, like right here. In person, looking at it, it looks way more covered. But you can see that while it's not, you know, it's obviously not the same color, that's a crap load closer in my opinion. And I just like that color better anyways. But you can see here, well, maybe on the other side, that this is actually like several layers of the John Deere paint. And it's just garbage, honestly, in my opinion. But yeah, and especially after this dries, I bet you this case paint will be a shitload closer to the original than what is supposed to be the original paint. And I know a lot of people are going to think that this is the dumbest thing in the world, painting a backhoe bucket, or painting a machine to begin with in general. But this is my personal machine. And if you haven't been able to tell by watching my videos already, I am not in excavation. This is not a machine that I'm gonna earn a living with. And quite frankly, what this backhoe is gonna be for me is a knuckle boom crane as far as the hoe, and a way to pick up, you know, logs and plow the driveway when it snows and that kind of stuff with the front. I mean, you know, I want to get my fair share of use out of this thing, don't get me wrong, but I'm not going to be digging with it. And so just figured I'd show that real quick. And maybe I'll come back and after I get a couple layers on it and after it dries a bit and show you what it looks like.